Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on a lovely little island of Fawnhollow today in a bit of an earlier episode than usual. Not much earlier, no, it's not like 10 AM or anything. I mean, normally I record from 4 PM onwards, something like that. But because I have an appointment at 3, I decided to record this now just to, get it out of the way, because it's not enough time to record Celeste, which is normally what I might record around this time if I feel like recording. So, just sort of jiggle about the schedule a little bit, just as long as everything fits in. Does it matter? No. It's all good in the end. You got things to do, things to be done, and things that will be done. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 2:13 PM on Monday, June 21st, 2021. Now after today's announcements, we have a visitor staying at a campsite. You know who we're looking for? We're looking for 3 villagers now: Fauna, Phoebe, and Apollo. Because we luckily picked up a biscuit. Well, picked up sounds a bit strange, but we found him on an island a few days ago and invited him around. It's a rainy day. We apparently don't have any mail, and we have Crazy Eye visiting. Interesting. Was he? I think he was here last week, so that's actually quite fortunate for us. But I can't quite recall, nor does it really matter because the days sort of blend together now, especially in Animal Crossing. But yeah, what should I talk about? Ooh, that's a good mission to have. Hit rocks, buy things, fruit, and what's this one? Sea bass. Actually, probably the most doable fish. Most catchable fish. That's think about the way we phrase things. But yeah, what should we talk about today? There's a Mario Party Superstars Nintendo Treehouse, which I do want to watch. Oh, you are Graham? People very strongly dislike you, I know that. If I remember, your room is like a server room, and you got like pictures of like Francine and the other idol rabbit villager. I forgot her name. Francine and you know the pink and blue polka dot rabbits. Let's actually go over the crazy red pathway. Why not? They got their own shtick, He's an idol fan. There's a big mood right there, sort of. And I say sort of is because I don't really actually like merchandise or that sort of thing. Like, people are surprised that because I do watch anime, like that sort of thing I do, and a lot of the things I do like are idol related. I like playing with games, and it's like, would you want some idol like merchandise? I'm like, nah, not really. Would you go to an idol concert? Maybe. Do you love any of your idols? Not like in a romantic way. I just think they're cool characters, which is a sort of like a subversion of what you expect from this sort of genre, which is made to specifically appeal to those sort of fancies, which kind of just make me go, I don't want to. Controversially or not, I do not find fictional characters all that attractive. This looks like a legitimate one, and I don't think we have this. Little boy blue. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to shame people to do, as long as it's something they healthily manage, I suppose. This looks like a fake one, but I'm also not an expert in this sort of area in the first place, so who really knows? This could be real, but I know we definitely have a spare one of those already, so we don't even need to look. This one, the forged statue is smiling, while the genuine one is not. So this is smiling, so this is in fact the only one. Well, I mean, the girl with a pearl earring might be legitimate, but I know for a certain we've already got the girl with a pearl earring as a little painting. So, 2 legitimate ones. Not bad, Red, not bad. And there's a quick visit where we can just go back to usual, so let's bring everything up here. But yeah, what have I been up to today? Not much really. I've done a bit of programming and played a bit of games, that's about it. Just the usual things. Got some admin stuff to sort out later, but that's just how it goes. Sorry, got a little bit of delay there. I don't remember what I was talking about. What was I talking about? I don't know. Hopefully it wasn't particularly important. We got a red thing, and that's all we need to do. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this new Mario Party shakes up, especially because the previous Mario Parties were okay, just like disappointing if anything. Mario Party 8 was pretty alright in comparison to a lot of them. It was simplified, but rewards were still fun. Mario Party 9 was a huge change up and rather disappointing. In my eyes, Mario Party 10 was... I don't remember Mario Party 10. Do I even have Mario Party 10? I might not even have Mario Party 10, so I don't even remember anymore. And Super Mario Party was like, it could have been so much more, but alas it wasn't. I really kind of wish that running along this path didn't give such a... Oh yeah, I forgot I was replacing everything with stone. Oh, and I didn't recreate the design for this. It's so annoying, but it doesn't overlay on it properly, and I don't understand why it doesn't. I do understand, but I don't understand why we're not allowed to edit it. It's just like, why can't we edit this? Like, at least for like our own personal collection or something like that, you know? That feels like it makes too much sense to me. So it's of course something Nintendo will never implement. But for now, it's fine. We're here to, do this stuff. Actually, we don't need to do this yet. We can do it later. Yeah, what was I going to talk about? I can't really remember. There's something I wanted to... Oh yeah, I saw a video of this guy taking a tour through some random house for sale in America. It's a bit of a cluttered mess because it's a house which is very strange, and you can probably find it. I can't remember who uploaded it. It's something like the weirdest house for sale in America, probably something along those lines. That's not a sea bass. Maybe we should wait till we actually got a fishing mission before we do that. Probably makes sense. It's called like the weirdest house for sale or whatever. It looks a bit cluttered and a bit messy, and you know, it's got some very strange decisions if it was a house for residentials to live in. For example, they have like a huge amount of bathrooms, and so many of the bathrooms have 2 toilets right next to each other, just literally next to each other. Not in like stalls or anything, like you might expect to find in a public bathroom. They're just there for some unfathomable reason. Well, I say unfathomable. There's almost certainly good reason to it. Just, you know, may not be so evident at first blush. But wow, we have a lot of things in our inventory. I didn't know that. But yeah, it's got a lot of weird things going on. And you know, you sort of learn a lot about what can really go into making a house. Because essentially, and I'm going to spoil the surprise to you, this house was probably a house that used to be a church or something, and then it got repurposed into many other things. Apparently, it used to be like a private school, and then it got repurposed into a house, which the current residents were not using so much as a house as they were using it as like an office, or I suppose a workspace for their operations, where they're like reselling goods or something. I can't really tell, maybe even pirating goods according to the video, but there's a lot of things there which aren't necessarily piratable, like calendars. But yeah, it just made me think it would be pretty cool to have a house which is like that large, right? You can have so many different sort of these like areas you can split things down into, because obviously it was a church, so my knowledge of churches isn't that good, but basically they have like a downstairs like huge room area, which I guess would be like a canteen or something. I think someone said it was, that's not Selvies, like a canteen or something like that, and then other things like that, and you can use that as basically a huge operation. Like they used it for storage space, unsurprisingly, because they have a lot of things to store all around there, especially when they're stocking a lot of things and selling them on when we can. But I thought it'd be cool to have that sort of house, because this is such a weird thing to say, but it's a house with like a lot of mini like staircases in, which I thought would be like exciting to not so much explore, but live and be like, oh, you know, I need to go down to my dining room. I suppose it's just sort of like a sign of privilege, if anything, to be able to be like, oh, my house is so big that I need to like go down a mini set of stairs just to go to like my dining room or something. I'm not someone who wants to live like an extravagantly wealthy life or anything like that, but it's sort of just like the thought of it is like so amusing to me. But I actually kind of like it. I suppose it's sort of like, instead of living in a home, you're like living in a communal area, I guess. Obviously very impractical, because you know you'd have to clean that sort of thing, so I'd actually prefer much more like medium to smaller side. So like studio apartments actually seem kind of fun to me, and I don't know if they actually are, mind you, because I've never lived in one. Hello Claude, we'll talk to you, get our friendship up and that sort of thing. You're gonna get our pony if it doesn't stop. It's just like that like idea of having like a living room or something which has like 4 stairs downwards into like a lowered area to hang out in. Completely like pointless. I wouldn't say it's impractical. We missed out yesterday apparently. Whoops. Oh well. I'm not sure if I'd say impractical per se. I mean, like, in some ways it kind of is, because it's like, what if you've got to like wheel something around or like pull something around, you can only go down this mini staircase into it. It's just something about having like a depression into the ground, like a little pit area to hang out in, sounds pretty cool to me. Because have you seen them like really fancy interior design sort of things? They have like those like depressions into the floor with square depressions, and we put like sofas around the edges to make it like all cozy and comfy and that sort of thing. That like appeals to me greatly. For it's some like must be like animalistic instinct in my brain. It's just like, ooh, I'm safe in here. I'm in like a little burrow or something of the sorts. Which is very clearly not quite how it works, but you know, your brain doesn't really think all that rationally when it's working on instinct, mind you. We have a lot of flowers to clean up, and since it's raining again, we're gonna have even more to clean up tomorrow. So the sooner we can get all these paths down, the better, probably. I don't even remember it raining yesterday, but perhaps it did. Oh, another quite a long pause there. So much so that I've already had my little telephone consultation appointment. So that's all over and done with, I suppose. Which is good, you know. I don't mean it in like a disparaging way. It's a good appointment. That's all good. I'm all good. Everything that got to get done got done, and that's about it. But yeah, I remember what I was talking about right now. I was talking about houses, and like I guess like Dreamhouse sort of style, you know. When you're younger, you used to play with Sylvanian families or Barbie dolls or whatever equivalent you had for housing things. Plan your own dream house, Barbie's Adventure in Dreamhouse, which by the way, apparently, I don't know how to explain it, but it's one of those cartoons where it's like the people, the storyboard writers behind, not storyboard writer, but the people behind it just sort of just went like, you know what, we can do whatever we want with this sort of thing, because no one's gonna watch it anyway or something. We don't got high expectations, so we can do wild sort of plots because they don't have to play it safe or whatever. Because I have seen, I don't know, I've seen a little bit of it. Not the entire thing, not mind you. I can't remember why. I think it was because Morgan randomly linked. Oh no, you know what it was? It was it wasn't Barbie's Adventure in Dreamhouse, which I've seen some of it, just from GIFs. There's apparently this very relatable character who always ends up on Tumblr. I can't remember what her name is, but she's like very self-centered and she's meant to be like the bratty one, I suppose, or whatever. But she's apparently very funny. There's also this fantastic scene apparently where Barbie showing off like her wardrobe, and it's like, when did you? And she was like showing off lawyer, pilots, that sort of thing. And when people were just really confused, it's like, when did you go to? Because there's like, you're an astronaut. When did you go to the moon? And then Barbie's just like, you haven't been to the moon or something like that. I can't remember. I don't do it justice. Go like look it up, like astronaut Barbie in Dreamhouse GIF, probably a thing. But anyway, sorry. This is just like tangents upon tangents of what I was going through. Well, I don't even remember what I wanted to finish talking about. Oh no, I have seen the first 10 minutes or so of Barbie's wonderful Christmas holiday. I don't know what it is, and the only reason it's really stuck in my memory is because there's a song they sing at the beginning where it's like, this'll be the perfect Christmas or something, where I don't know, apparently Barbie's got a load of sisters, didn't know that, where one of her sisters sings a line about ice skating on the ice, and she'll be like, I'll be on the stage, I'll be on the ice, I'll be my show, and I'm spinning and spinning, and that became a little meme in our circle for a while, where it's just irrelevant. Whenever you somehow are spinning around in the middle of a video game, by the way, not very often, you just drop that little line, you know, just be like, and I'm spinning and spinning. Anyway, what I was talking about, to, you know, get down another layer of tangents, like Barbie in Dreamhouse, you can imagine your own perfect dream house, and if mine's going to be my perfect dream house, what else is going to be in it apart from that like sort of pit thing we got? I remember this is like an assignment actually we used to have when I was much younger, I believe, back in year 3, year 2 or whatever, where we had to design our perfect house. Of course, when your aspirations when you're that young, it's not really, I shouldn't say aspirations, it's not like when you're that young you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to own this house when I'm younger. It's just like, I suppose your interior designing skills are not particularly good when you're younger. They tend to be a lot more of a fantastical side rather than grounded in reality of what would make a good house. So you'd be like, oh, I'm going to put like a roller coaster in the middle of my house or something. Like, that's what I did. I was like, I don't remember everything about my house, but I remember I was like, I'm going to have a big arcade with like tons of different like arcade cabinets and consoles and that sort of thing, like 50 TVs or whatever, all like different games and consoles all linked up, and then you can play these huge parties of video games all the time, because apparently my defining trait back at that time was video games. I think I had like a trampoline room in my house, which is, you know, I think they have now, not like in houses, but mind you, but they have like like gymnasium style centres, you can just get these big trampoline rooms where there's just trampolines from floor to wall. Bagworms are going to be a bit annoying. Plausible, just annoying. You get like wall to wall sort of trampolines where you can bounce around in. So, you know, apparently past younger me had a bit of vision of exactly what a future would behold. Maybe not for our house, but still. I remember one part I spent a huge amount of focus on was the garden for some reason, because I was like, I remember asking me, like, can we draw a garden? And we were like, yeah, why not? My teacher, because I mean, obviously this is not an exercise of how good is your interior designing skills when you're 6 years old. It's not even 5 years old or something. It's more like a lesson in creativity, creative expression and that sort of thing, and dreaming big, I guess. Yeah, so one of the things I did was I got these like A3 sheets of paper, like stuck them all together and made this huge garden. And I remember I had like a zoo in it. Well, it wasn't really a zoo, it was more like one of those like safari parks, yeah, that's the word, where you can, like, you know, walk in with the animals and that sort of thing. Like, I'd have like giraffes here, and don't mind how giraffes are going to survive in a British climate or that sort of thing, but, you know, I'd be like, this is like the desert and the Serengeti section or whatever, this is like the jungle, and then this is like this like big ocean, I guess, where I had like sea life or something. I can't really remember. I very distinctly remember drawing like sea lions, and I don't remember why that came to mind, but there you go. They're not very good sea lions, mind you. No sense of perspective or anything, or like, you know, because I didn't draw them from a top-down view. I drew it from, theoretically, it's meant to be like a slightly side-on view, except for, you know, younger me, 5-year-old me, terrible at drawing, no sense of perspective or, you know, like vanishing points or anything like that. So, of course, I'm just flaming younger me for no apparent reason. Yeah, I think I'll do a few of these missions, then we'll go say hi to Biscuit, and then we'll continue putting down the path. Otherwise we'll never get that done if I just keep putting it off. Save it for the last 10 minutes of the episode or so. But I also remember, like, apart from liking animals quite a lot, what I also really liked when I was younger was I loved theme parks. So I was like, I'm going to have this entire A3 paper section of my garden dedicated to just being a theme park. So apparently my theoretical garden is probably like hundreds of acres in size, which is a little bit unfeasible in this day and age. Either that or I've just like bought Alton Towers and made it my backyard, which is honestly kind of cool, but also at the same time very, very unreasonable when it comes to well, anything in affordability range. Also, if that's just like an excessive amount of wealth, having your own personal theme park is a little bit ridiculous. Like, I guess owning one as a business is a bit more fair when it comes to that sort of thing, but it's not really a sort of mileage you should, sort of milestones you should have, I suppose, when it comes to designing your dream house. But, you know, young me, pie in the sky sort of aspirations, like vapid aspirations, like really bad ones. It was like vague, I can't remember, amorphous, pie in the sky, something. I don't know. There's a CGP Grey video on it. Oh, a nibblefish. I don't think we have a model of that yet, so let's keep that round, why don't we? I'm trying to think what else I had in that thing. What else would I put in? I'd probably put like a movie projector. Sort of like a Delio. Yeah, that one's a bit more reasonable, like a home theatre sort of thing. For people to have in their home, you can get a projector. The projectors aren't, I mean, then don't get me wrong, they're certainly a luxury, but they're not like an outrageous luxury by any means. You could definitely buy one and then, you know, have your own home theatre. Ironic how things happen, because now I'd be very uninterested in having a home theatre. Just for, I didn't mean to say see you later, but apparently, I wonder if that counts for a Nook Wow mission. It does. Who would have thunk it? It's not really what I'd have in mind if I was designing a house nowadays, because I'm not super interested in. So I'm just trying to think what to sell here. My brain is not working. There you go. That seems about right. Is that enough? We need to sell a bit more. What can we sell for 400? Probably a few of these. Is that enough? I don't know. Yeah, I'd be very uninterested in having sort of like my own home theatre nowadays, but that's just mainly because I don't. Oh, I could sell one, it'd be fine. I'm not very interested in having my own home theatre to like watch TV or movies about something, because I just don't watch them in the first place anymore. But I suppose it's just sort of a thing that I saw like in a TV show or something once. A younger me was like, I want that in my dream house, which is fair enough. I think if I had a cool dream house, you know, it sounds stupid as hell, but you know, like how all those like James Bond villains or like any sort of like evil villains that always have like these big, like glowy, super glowy, massive aquariums or whatever, just like built into the wall where we got. I mean, they normally have like sharks swimming, but I don't want sharks because sharks are not really something you should keep in captivity because they don't do particularly well and that sort of thing. But like fish which do well in captivity, and just like have them in like a huge, massive aquarium tankard, like, and not on the side of a room. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Just had another flashback. I'll finish this thought when I get into that. Just like inside a room and just have it like glowing, like in an office or something, that sort of thing. I suppose it sort of gives you evil villain vibes, which is not exactly what I'm going for, but I do like the aesthetic. You know, villains they got good eyes for aesthetics and evil bases and that sort of thing. So it's something in some cases to aspire to, but perhaps not necessarily their deeds that they do, depending on, you know, the medium. But no, we had another. Like, apparently, interior designing is quite a common sort of classroom activity thing to do stuff with. I guess I don't really know. We had another one. We had two more actually, but this one I'll get to first because it's more relevant. Well, one of them where we had to design our dream room, a dream bedroom. I think I can't really remember. I remember I made mine like cylindrical, circular. I suppose would probably be the way you describe that. Because I don't know why. I honestly have no recollection of why I did it, but the most defining thing I remember having in my room was I had like this aquarium on the side of a wall, and the aquarium was shaped like a big octopus. It was like an octopus sort of like cutout thing, which by the way would be incredibly impractical for a fish to swim through, mind you, but it was this like huge octopus on the wall, like fish swimming in and about, which I would be like, oh, that's super cool. I guess it would be like the equivalent of having like those little hamster tunnels going around your room, but for fish, which would be super cool. Also pretty terrible because that's like, it's difficult enough to clean hamster tunnels. I can't imagine how difficult it would be to clean. How difficult it would be to clean like water tubing or fish and that sort of thing. I've seen it where like some people have it in like their ponds in their backyard. They have like this like watchtower for fish, where they use like a vacuum to suck out all the air at the top and then use solid glass to keep the water pressure high or something up in there, so fish can sort of just swim up to the top of it and have like a little dip into the air above, I guess. I was trying to think how to phrase that sentence, which is, you know, pretty cool in concept. Yeah, and I don't know, apparently I just want to be surrounded by fish all the time. I don't, when I was younger especially. Nowadays, I mean, fish are cool, don't get me wrong. I don't have any fish, but they are much more of a... They're just like sort of nice to see, you know. If I'd have like a big aquarium that would take up like most of a wall or something, so it'd be like that wall is an aquarium. The only worry I had with it would be like, oh, if at any point like someone accidentally like barges into a wall or something, accidentally breaks it, it's going to be a nightmare to be like, save a fish. There's like 5,000 different fish in here and it holds like 500 gallons of water or something. I don't know how much 500 gallons of water is, so that might be an absolutely incredible, ridiculous amount. So don't mind my water estimations over here, but it seems kind of fun. I just like the aesthetic of the glow of the aquarium. I suppose. Perhaps it's a good thing I don't own them. Don't own any fish at the moment and be like, you know, just keeping you for the aesthetic. It's not really what you want to do with a pet. Pets are for life, not just for Christmas. So yeah, on that note, I suppose we'll continue laying down our icy path here, with the stone backing, which I wish it made the sound of as you walked over it, but I guess the idea is that designs are meant to be more like carpets on top of a thing, rather than necessarily the stuff underneath. I also really wish you could put your path on top of this thing. It's really in the way. It's classic Animal Crossing customization limitation. You know, nothing more, nothing less to see here. I also remember I saw like a video on, I don't know what TV series it was. I'm not even sure if it was a TV series. Maybe it was a dream I had, where basically they had like slides around the house as a means of navigation. They weren't like, you know, tiny slides that you see on like a playground. They're actually like quite wide slides. They were basically like corridors, but like slanted corridors and slippy floorboards or whatever. So you could slide down to like a floor below. I remember I put slides everywhere in my house to get around. I feel like that's just like a natural kid thing to do, right? Extrapolation of things you are aware of yourself, like slides on playgrounds, and then extrapolating it, being like, this is fun, I'm going to put this in my practical everyday to day life sort of thing. Which, you know, I mean, I guess it'd be alright to have like one slide from like the top of your house all the way to the bottom if you wanted, but you know, cleaning it, absolute nightmare. How do you stay still on a slide to clean it, depending on like the angle? Two, also really inconvenient. There's one way. That's why you only want really one of them. You don't want it as a major form of transportation. Three, they can take up a lot of space, slides, unless you've got like a dumbbell sort of thing where it's like a vertical drop down, which is a bit of a dangerous thing. That's not really anything. It's just like you might as well put a ladder there or something. But on the other hand, really cool. So it's just inconvenient because like if you ever need to like descend down multiple floors while like holding something, you can't really go down the slide necessarily. If it's like, you know, you're holding like a cup of water or something, be like, oh, I'm gonna take my tea from the kitchen upstairs down to my office on the ground floor or something. You're like, oh, I can't take a slide, which is like the whole point of it is meant to be a fast mode of transportation in the house. Instead, you just got to take the stairs like a normal person. How lame. I wonder if I might as well have just used... No, because, okay, I was thinking for a second, I'd be like, I might as well have just used, like, the middle block of ice for all of these paths, because you can't really tell if it's cut off at the edge anyway. But no, you can slightly tell, because you can sort of see the starts of a shadow on the corner there, which you don't see on the other side. So it does give it a bit of sense of depth. Yeah, and it's a shame. It does look quite nice, without the path underneath it. But only in the winter, because it looks a bit strange on grass, because, you know, grass doesn't really shine like snow does. At least in the same exact way. Which is fine, it's not like, that's not a knock on the creator. The creator, obviously, you know, this wasn't like a custom made thing, especially exactly for what I hadn't had in mind. This is what they wanted to do, they were generous enough to share on the internet. I'm forever thankful for that, because I would not be bothered to create these sort of designs, but I'm thankful that other people have done it for me. So here we go. We are piggybacking off the shoulders of giants before us. As you do. Because nothing in this world is original. But maybe up there we'll actually put them down as proper designs rather than as a pathway. But we can get to that when we think about it. We'll knock that out when we come to it. I meant to say, that's not really how I phrased that sentence, but you know what I meant. Just trying to think what goes where now. It's so annoying. This thing doesn't... Like, why? Why would this be the way it functions? It doesn't make any sense to me. Be like, oh, you want to overlay the design, except for if it has no transparency pixels in it. It's like, what? It's clearly nonsensical, but here we are. Don't turn away now. And even more bizarrely is the fact that we can't edit any designs we download off the internet. Why? Why? It's just like a... Yeah, it's just why. What bizarre decision. I understand you don't want people to edit it because you don't want them to upload it and credit it as their own. Sure, but like, why can't we just use it personally for our own village? Like, just forbid it from being uploaded or something. Or like, give it a tag where it's been like, oh, it's been originally created by so-and-so creator. I don't know. Might look a bit better like this, actually. Yeah, that looks so fine. But enough of complaining about Animal Crossing New Horizons, you know. People have done that ad nauseum already. I would just be adding fuel to a fire which does not need any more fuel. It's still a good game. It's still great to vibe out with. Just some decisions in it are just like, come on, you didn't have to do it like that. Oh well. This path looks quite nice. And even better, it won't stop flowers from spawning. So I guess the next stage would be to start replacing all of this with stone tiling instead. Which we don't really have enough time to do, but we can give it a bit of a start. Just trying to think what I wanted to do. this section because it's unfortunately slightly misaligned. Not for any fault of my own, it's just, you know, how wide these walls are. I couldn't really do anything different, could I? Like, do I want it one wide? Yeah, I think I do. Looking at it. No, but we can curve it. What? We can curve it slightly around. And luckily laying down a stone foundation is a bit easier than the dirt one like this. Than laying down a design, I meant. So we can do this. How quaint. So we'll just connect it up to that thing over there, and then we will probably round this episode up here. So yeah, what's in your dream house? I wish I remembered more of what I put in my dream house when I was that young. If only I could find that sort of thing again. Probably be hilarious to look at. But oh, look how much young me thought I could afford when I was this age. I bet I was probably like, oh, I bet I'll be able to buy this house when I'm 18 years old or something. Like I'm going to be some sort of miracle entrepreneur. Obviously it's a bit outrageous, but you know, can't blame someone for dreaming. I think we'll put this here. Perfect. And then we'll just remove this flower. I'm sure there's going to be more flowers we need to remove tomorrow. That's just our daily business of, you know, being a gardener, you know. You got to deal with the weeds. But anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I can hear a balloon somewhere. Somewhere. Which I'm keen to shoot down in case we get more summer recipes. Which we've so sorely missed out on previously. And I do not intend to this time. Semi-opaque socks, not really what I had in mind. But yeah, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscriptions, shares, I greatly appreciate. Join me, Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. I hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.